everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Renee and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I have a lot of you guys coming into my channel. I got a lot of new subscribers for the new year. So first of all, thank you so much for that. And also welcome again. I am going to be doing a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I really hope that this is going to be a personal Q&A. I told you guys like no questions off limits. I haven't read through any of them, so we shall see. I asked on my Instagram. If you're not already following me, it's just at Renee Amberg, and I hope that I get to your question. If I don't, I promise I'll do one of these again in the future. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dive right into it. Here we go. What kind of work will you be venturing onto when you move to New York? For those of you guys that don't know, I will be moving to New York in March. I talked about possibly getting into something like a job, and I honestly would be down for anything. I do have a business degree, but I'm really wanting to incorporate either social media because I'm really into the social media field and I feel like that's a lot of like where the marketing is going to, but I also really like film. And possibly working in that area. So maybe something in terms of business / film / social media. That's kind of where I'm gonna put my energy into. Maybe a startup company, that'd be really cool. Would I be living alone in New York? Need a roommate. I actually don't need a roommate. I'm going to be living in a studio and I somehow convinced Noah to come along with me. So that'll be interesting. Who is Noah? I know he's your boyfriend, but he's never shown. He is my boyfriend. He is a very private person. He doesn't like to have his life online, his face online, which I really respect and value in him. I'm like 99.99% he will never be a part of this channel, which I'm totally okay with. That's just how he is. I honestly don't even know what just happened. Was more open, obviously, like I would have him on my channel, but he's just very private. So how is my mental health? My mental health is really good. I'm kind of bored right now, to be honest, and a little bit impatient, but other than that, I'm pretty good. Thank you. That's a really sweet question. So I'm sitting here editing this video and it's supposed to be a personal Q&A, and I honestly got a little bit uncomfortable with that question because no one really asks you about your mental health. I feel like it should definitely be something that people ask and are more open about. My mental health is good right now. I'm not in a negative place or anything. I just, with the impatience of the move and being kind of bored, and Noah's out of town again for 2 months, so I'm kind of alone. It's kind of getting to me a little bit. I feel like my house right now is not my home anymore, and I feel just things like clutter around. I've already started kind of packing, and I feel anxious because I'm bored and I have nothing to do, and I'm feeling a little bit lonely. But again, life is always going to be ups and downs, and I know that like this is very temporary. A lot of it has to do with like what's going on around me, and I'm getting better at it. I've had like kind of a pretty bad day today, to be honest with you guys, like mentally, but I'm getting stuff done and being productive, and that helps a lot with like getting my mindset better. And I also am planning a lot of things to do with my family and my friends, which again helps a lot with like loneliness and stuff. Like having something to do and getting out of the house is really healthy for me. So I'm working on it, but I just thought I would throw that in there because I asked for a personal Q&A and I kind of like totally didn't answer that one as honestly as I should, and I kind of didn't explain it that much. So that's kind of what's going on. Yeah. Will you and Noah ever get married or have kids? No. I feel like marriage is not really in my cards. I don't really believe in the value of marriage. I can make a whole separate video if you guys want about my opinions on marriage and why I don't see marriage in my future. That's just not something that I personally strive for. If I was dating someone who really wanted to get married, I would have no problem getting married, but Noah and I are on the same page with that. And in terms of kids, again, like we're just on the same page. I have no interest in having kids. I'm never saying never, but in this moment of my life, I'm saying a no. If anything, I would like adopt a kid if I'm like 40 and 30 or something like that and have my shit together. Are you open to YouTube meetups and in-person contact? I honestly get so nervous with that. I'm not one to like come say meet me like I'm a celebrity or something. Like I just really hate that. If I happen to run into somebody, which I have before, of course like I'm gonna say hi and like be friendly and stuff. I just really get nervous with that kind of stuff, and I'm not like that type of person to think that anyone would want to come see me, and I feel like it's like very egotistical to throw a meetup. I don't know, that's just my opinion. What is my opinion about other YouTubers who don't work real jobs and live in the bubble? I can't sit there and judge someone for their lives, obviously, like to each their own. I've definitely obviously lived this lifestyle for the past 2 years, so I've definitely been in it, so I'm not like innocent in this. But to me, I used to watch a lot of YouTubers, and now that I am living that lifestyle, I can see through a lot of the people who post on social media and people who thoroughly actually enjoy it and people who take advantage of their subscribers and stuff. And I just, to me, again, it's very egotistical. It's like not, I don't know how to say this in a nice way. It's just like not who I am. So I just don't see that for myself. But again, to each their own. Sometimes like I'll gravitate towards people who work normal jobs, and right when I think that I am inspired by them and I feel like authenticity with them, they end up quitting their job and then just living the like typical influencer lifestyle, which I'm not really into and I don't aspire to be. I hate that word influencer because influencers to me mean like they strive to make you better and they don't strive to make themselves have some sort of personal gain from what they're doing. And a lot of the YouTubers that I personally see live this lifestyle because it makes a lot of money. Again, it's a very egotistical, materialistic world. Instead of looking out for the well-being of everyone else, they kind of just look for themselves. That's like the nicest way I can say it. Again, I don't want to sit here and like make judgments because I don't personally know any of them, but that's just what I view from it, and it's just very fake. I feel like, oh my god, I'm just getting off on a tangent here. A lot of the people that I watched when I first started watching them, when I thought they were like relatable, they now are so unrelatable. They live in a bubble and they just kind of live in this fantasy world that kind of loses touch with reality, because you're working from home. Your job is to like make other people like you and your content and stuff, and it can probably get in their head and stuff. So I just feel like they're very detached from like real world issues and real world like problems and life. Again, I mentioned this in my New York video, like that just scares the shit out of me and I don't ever want to become that. So that's my opinion. A lot of you guys are asking about Noah, and out of respect for him, I'm not going to answer any of the questions with him just because, again, he's a very private person. That's the only thing off limits for me on my channel, so sorry. How do I deal with social anxiety? For me, I push myself constantly to get out of my comfort zone. I'm constantly pushing myself to learn and understand the disorder. You're probably gonna hate this. The more that you make yourself uncomfortable in the situations that you kind of make your mind up to be, the more you realize they're not as daunting and scary as your mind makes it up to be. So like you just gotta keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. It's kind of like working out. Like when you work out, you're never gonna see results unless you push yourself out of your comfort zone by, you know, saying no to temptations, going to the gym and working out even though it hurts your body and you don't feel motivated to do it. Like you just gotta really work really hard at it. And something that I've also realized this year is to stop obsessing about it. Like it's like one of those things where when you're younger, you always had like this insecurity and you like obsessed over it, and now that you're older, you don't even deal with it and you're like, holy crap, I just realized the more I stop thinking about it and obsessing about it, it just kind of gradually goes away. I'm not saying that social anxiety does that, but it definitely helps. Just keep pushing yourself to do things out of your comfort zone. Take it a little step at a time. Therapy really helps, and stop obsessing over it. Don't like overdo it, because then you're just gonna freak yourself out and make it that much more prominent in your life. Are you ever scared that you'll fall into an eating disorder again? I still struggle sometimes with eating. I kind of felt myself dive back into it, to be quite honest with you guys, last year when Noah left and when my dad was sick. I don't know if it's something that like my mind thinks that I have some sense of control over, so when my life was kind of like chaotic, I just gravitate towards that. I feel like I'm back on track. I've been eating really good, healthy, whole meals from all different types of food, like carbohydrates, fats, protein, all that stuff. When I find myself getting into fads like, you know, veganism or trying to be like plant-based and like getting too crazy with that, I find it creeping back up again. So it's just something that I always kind of deal with. I've noticed too when I did my New York video that I was like much more fuller in terms of my body, and I lost a lot of weight in such a short amount of time that I personally wasn't aware of until I saw that video. So I'm working on it. I'm doing really good right now. That's the most important thing. Will I ever quit vlogging? I really don't think so. I think when I go to New York, I saw a lot of you guys comment that I'm probably not gonna be making as many videos. I think I'm probably, if anything, if I get like a full-time job, obviously I'm gonna be making more like 2 videos a week rather than 3, but I don't ever want to quit YouTube. It's a very fun and creative outlet for me, and I really like the support system that we kind of created here, so not at all. And if anything ever did happen where I did have to kind of hold back on videos, I would definitely keep you guys updated. My biggest fear would be ending up alone. My aunt's boyfriend had a really tragic accident this past year, and I went to go visit him in the hospital, but it was like a one of those, what are those things called? Not retirement community, but they're assisted living. It was just very sad. It was like in the movies, like you see sometimes when like there's like older people in wheelchairs just staring at the wall. It's kind of true. Like I saw that and it was like terrifying. I was like, oh my god, if that ever became me, like how's my dad doing? My dad is doing really well. He actually beat cancer, which is nuts. I'm so thankful. He's out and about walking, working again, and he's back to his normal life, which is really great. So thank you for that. Some of the reasons for not wanting to be on YouTube as much, again, it has nothing to do with YouTube. It's just more the mindset and the people involved with the community that I'm in. I just want to put myself back into the real world. I've noticed myself and my anxiety get worse over the years. My fears get more extreme, and it's showing physically. I just know when I'm kind of falling off balance, and I find myself falling off balance, and I definitely think that it's the lifestyle that I'm living. Just being inside all the time, not being around people, almost needing approval of others, like literally to make a living. So it's just kind of getting to me, and I just don't want it to, I feel like pressure, if that makes sense, and I just don't like where I'm kind of headed towards. I want to go back into like being my old self. I feel like I had like less fears and stuff when I was younger, which is crazy. I'm just like in my head a lot. Is your New York City apartment downtown? It's actually in Manhattan. I don't know yet. I'm not too much of a New Yorker right now. I don't know if that means downtown. What college did I go to? I went to UCF. Will I ever go back to making law of attraction videos? I have a video going up soon about this. Like I have a video idea about why I'm kind of like falling away from spirituality, and I feel like there's a lot of downside to spirituality and new age thought that I'm gonna talk a lot about. I just have so much to say. This video would literally be an hour. How long have Noah and I been dating? We've been dating for 7.5 years now. It was in 2012, so yeah, it'll be 8 years this year. That's nuts. Where is my dog? Okay, so Sparky came to be with me when my dad was diagnosed with cancer and Noah was gone. He has always been a family dog. He's like my dog. Technically, I bought him when I was 12, but he lives with my mom and has lived with my mom because I went to school and I couldn't bring him obviously to the dorms and stuff. So having him here when Noah was away was really nice because I had someone here. I live like 15 minutes away from my mom, but he's formed a really close bond with my brother who lives with my mom, and it's just very unfair to kind of separate him from that. Plus it's like really unfair to like, I don't think like hopping dogs around, especially my dog, because Sparky is such an anxious dog. He has so much anxiety. I probably get my anxiety from him. You know when they say like your dog is matched like you? He's literally like a replica of me. He's anxiety ridden and he is an old man now, so he's back with my mom, but I go see him all the time because I go to my mom's a lot. And he's not coming to New York with me again. He's just so old. He is super anxious. I don't think he would do well with like changing. Even just coming to my house, he like was, you could just tell he was so uncomfortable. But I have like everything here for him. He'll come occasionally and visit me and stuff. If you want to go see him, go to my Instagram and click on the Instagram story highlight called Mr. Ida, and you'll see the cutest little videos and clips of him. Can you talk about your modeling past and how I got into it? So I used to model when I was like 4. I mean, everyone has, right? My mom like put me into this agency or something like that, so I did that. The company that I worked for had an agency in Orlando, which is where I went to school, and I was babysitting for a lady who was a photographer for them, and that she wanted to shoot me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I used to like be a part of that agency when I was like 4. So that's kind of how the conversation started going. She shot me. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun for me. I started like kind of like diving into the possibilities of maybe doing that as like a side hustle while I was in school. I went to the agency, got into the agency, and they pretty much took advantage of me and told me to like travel to all these different places, and they kept saying I was building my portfolio. I went on a trip with a couple of the other models there who had been working there for 4 years and said that they had never gotten paid still, and they constantly will just tell you it's for your portfolio, but they never actually pay you. So I was kind of getting like weird and iffy. The one time I said no, they wanted me to go to Miami for like, I think I had went to Miami 2 times previously, out of my pocket to build my portfolio, getting hotels and all that stuff, driving as a college student who didn't have a lot of money. And the 3rd time they wanted me to go, I was like, hey, like I have school, I can't afford this. And they got a new like manager, if you will, and she just was like, if you're not gonna push this through, like we don't think that you are putting us as a priority, we're gonna have to let you go, blah blah blah. At that time it was such a like relief because I was in a contract with them for 3 years. I was getting so stressed because I was getting opportunity to make money from people and photographers that I met doing the other like free work that I was doing. It was so frustrating because I couldn't technically work for them because I was in contract with this other agency, and you can't get out of the contract unless you go to like legal stuff and all this other stuff. So the fact that that girl told me like they no longer wanted me because I didn't go to Miami for the 3rd time, after like 2 years of working for them, I was like, thank God I'm out. So it was kind of like an easy out, and I really just hated the mindset that I personally got into. I lost a lot of weight. That's kind of when my eating disorder went kind of like I remember just like telling Noah, I'm like, oh, thank God I'm done. Can we go to Five Guys? And I just like ate Five Guys for like a week. That's my modeling experience. Will you and Lindsay keep in touch? How does she feel about the move? Lindsay's like my best friend. She actually has family in New York. She's actually from New York, so she'll come and visit. So I'm not afraid of never seeing her again or something like that. And I'm gonna be back here, so we'll do fine. Would you ever put a Velcro suit on and stick yourself to a Velcro wall? That was in the movie Big Fat Liar.
Hey, Dad.
Just called to see how you were doing.
I'm doing good, you know, staying out of trouble.
That looks like so much fun. I would totally do that.
Staying out of trouble.
Such a random question. Am I still doing QKids? I'm not doing QKids anymore. They actually require now you to have a 4-year degree, I think, or a teaching certificate or something like that. But they're hiring now, so if you guys are in school for teaching or you have a teaching certificate or something like that, you can work from home and teach kids English if you want. I'll link it down below. What kind of birth control do I use? I am on birth control. I will look it up and I'll pop it here on the screen. I've been on this for a while. Most embarrassing drunk night out. Oh my God, I have so many. You guys are gonna judge me now. Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to say that. Me and my friends all went out for Halloween this past Halloween, and we were drinking, and obviously with alcohol involved, like you get, I don't know. I was Billie Eilish, Lindsay was Rue from Euphoria. We had a vampire, and then we also had a SWAT team member. And me and Lindsay got into a little bit of a best friend fight. Not fight, but like, you know, just like a bickering kind of match. And again, there was like alcohol involved, and I just remember like we were on the side of the street arguing, and then at the end of the day, like we obviously like made up and stuff, but my friend texted me the next morning and he was like, I will never forget that Halloween. We have Rue and Billy arguing on the side of the street while a drunk vampire and drunk SWAT team member watches. That's probably pretty embarrassing. Why is everyone asking me if I want to get married? That's so annoying. Why don't you ask somebody why they are married? You're married? What made you decide to get married? I've like officially decided I'm gonna do a video about that. Do I ever smoke pot? Thoughts about psychedelics and their connection to the universe slash spirituality. I actually was just watching videos about DMT this morning. I find them very, very interesting, especially like only psychedelics, not like deep hardcore drugs, but like people who like dive into that world. I would love to sit down and just talk with them about it. I personally would never do them, but they're so freaking interesting. I tried to read a book on one time, but it was just ended up being like a long history book. So if you guys have any books that are really interesting like that about people's like trips and like different realms of spirituality, DMT is like the one that I find the most interesting, and ashwanga. I don't even know if those are the same thing, but they're just so interesting. A hair on my eye and I can't find it. Juicy question. Did I lose my V card to my boyfriend Noah? I did. Noah's been the only person that I've ever been with. My toxic trait. I can find myself being a little bit selfish sometimes without realizing. I feel like a lot of people are very unaware of their toxic traits because people don't tell them straight up. But I have a lot of very close people to me that if I do ever mess up or slip up, they tell me very straightforward, like, hey, like you did X, Y, and Z, and that was very X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z. And I really take in what people tell me, but I find a lot that my toxic trait tends to be a lot about like selfishness, like where I just don't put in consideration other people's opinions and values and stuff like that. But I obviously, like, once I'm faced with it, I really try my best to fix it. I've noticed myself over the past few years that I've been really trying really hard to fix is like I interrupt people sometimes. I can put myself and my situation, especially my anxiety, before other people's. I feel like anxiety in itself is a very selfish way of thinking because you think everyone's staring at you, everyone's revolved around you, and like everyone cares about what you did. And that would be my toxic trait, kind of summed up, is just selfishness sometimes. But I really try really hard not to be like that because that's not good. Do I take anything for my anxiety? I was prescribed Xanax, so I have Xanax in the case of if I ever feel like I have like a really bad panic attack or something, but it's more of like a saving kind of thing, and just knowing that I have it with me if I were to have a panic attack kind of calms me down a little bit, but I don't take it like on a regular basis or anything. A lot of people are asking me if I smoke. I got a video taken down about this, so I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna put this in there, but with certain people I will. Like if I'm comfortable with them, I won't do it alone by myself, or I won't go out and buy it or something. But if I'm like hanging out with certain people who I feel comfortable with, sure. Someone goes, how was your transition into adulthood? I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You realize in adulthood that you never know what the fuck you're doing. You're always confused. You're always like questioning your path. Like that will never go away. So you're on the right track. I feel like if you know what you're doing and you have your shit together, you're missing something because you have no drive or passion to do something else. So that's actually really good. Welcome to adulthood. Chase, my friend, asked me what's a box of rocks. Asshole. I'm gonna send him a little. My cousin asked me if you could eliminate one weakness or limitation in your life, what would it be? It would be to eliminate my self-doubt and my self-thinking. I read this in a book one time. What would your self be if you had none of your things that hold you back from doing what you want to do? That little voice in your head, that little self-doubt that kind of halts you from your highest potential. If that wall or that voice or whatever you want to call it just went away, imagine all the things that you would do without fearing or second guessing yourself. Like that would be the thing that I would want to take away. Just imagine where you would be right now if that was the case. So yeah, those are the questions. Thank you guys for all asking your questions. I tried my best to go through them and answer like the juiciest ones because I feel like those would be like the most interesting. A lot of you guys asked me about Noah and New York, but I hope that I answered some of those questions. To everyone that is new to my channel, I am so thankful. Thanks for subscribing. If you guys have any other questions, pop them down below. I'll try my best to answer. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in a future video. Bye guys.